What's up, everyone? We are back with another episode of Talkin Real Estate. Today's episode is all about virtual assistants. Mark, give us an overview of the many different things a real estate agent has to do well in order to succeed and scale their business, and why a virtual assistant would make sense.
So when I got my start, I was, I'm a control freak. So I did everything on my own, right? And, from scheduling showings to running comps to showing houses to writing offers to, just transaction coordination, conveyancing. There's so many different things that are involved in a day-to-day, operation and day-to-day business for a real estate agent. And, in the beginning, it was fine. But if you really want to scale and grow your business, you can't do it alone. There's no way. And you see that's true with any of these larger teams, any brokerages, any superstar agents, no pun intended, that are just crushing it. You need support. You need help, right? So whether you want to pay for an admin or a buyer's agent or someone to help you to do paperwork or whatever, and have somebody physically there, that's an option, and it comes at a cost. The alternative is maybe you have someone virtual. And, I have to be honest with you, and we'll bring our guest out in a second. I was very skeptical at first because in the past, and let's call it what it is, when virtual assistants were kind of launched into this, this business itself, they weren't good, man. They weren't good. And some of them still to this day are not good. I get calls every day people trying to recruit me and acquire our brokerage and do all these things. And I'm just like, I can't even, first of all, I don't understand what you're saying. Secondly, that they're calling from some kind of a, automated system, and it's just not very good. This guest, and I'll let you, introduce him in a second, really did an amazing job of scouting out amazing virtual assistants. And I'm also a client at this point, man. I gave into it and I love it. I've, been able to help scale our business and do things that we weren't able to do through a VA. So why don't we bring him out? We could talk to him, and let's get, because I know we're kind of pressed for time. We want to get a lot of information out in a short period of time. So let's do it.
Without further ado, let's welcome to the stage the man, the myth, the legend. He is a 20-year vet in the business, has built big teams, killed it on all fronts, and has now ventured into the virtual assistant world. He is Andy Kowalski of the Andy Kowalski team of Opus Elite Real Estate.
Years in the business, Andy. What did you start when you were 8? You look great, pal.
21. I'm 82. I'm 82 years old.
Yeah, Yo, by the way, how about that Michael Buffer intro, fellas?
That was very good. That was very good.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Gang signs. Yeah, that's really good. But that's going to absolutely appeal to the audience that we're talking to.
West side.
Anyway, God, here we go. So,
thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. So I don't know if you heard us when you were backstage, gave a little intro as to, my experience with VAs. And I want you to talk about that, Andy, because I know we don't have a ton of time, but I want you to give a little backstory as to who you are, what you do, why you got into real estate, and why you decided to start this virtual assistant company, and how you are better than the rest. Because I got to be honest with you, your company is awesome. I would have invested in it and paid for a couple of VAs if I didn't think they were great. And they're knocking it out of the park. So give a little backstory of yourself, brother.
Yeah. So born and raised Bucks County, just entrepreneur mind ever since I was 10. So just really scaling, building, growing connections. And that's what it's about, right? So I love the people part of real estate. I love helping people find homes. One of the biggest investments of their life, right? So and being a part of that, and with so many families, I've probably sold over 1,100 homes in my career. So I love it, and it's been a journey, So getting into that, I dipped my toes into virtual assistants back in 2009 when the market softened, and I was trying to figure other ways to create new listings or business. It was such a waste of money, but I did it, and it was very expensive, very taboo. The English was very, very bad. So I got out of it real quick.
How expensive?
It was probably like $12,000 a month, and I had a 6 month commitment. Yeah, I had to buy out of it. So, but. And that was in 2009. Today, 4 years ago, 4 years ago, I got back into it because I had some bad, just not bad, but just not experienced admins working for my team. In-house, local, just wasn't top notch. So I got back into the virtual assistant world, hired an agency. They really let me down. I spent like 12 grand to buy in. And it was literally, they found me a virtual assistant, didn't show me how to work with them, teach them, nothing. So I was like, I spent 12 grand. What the hell? Then I got another, that virtual assistant didn't work out. So I didn't go back to that agency. I went to another agency a few months later, spent 8 grand. And it was a horrible experience again. I'm like, over $20,000. And I'm like, this makes me sick. So I found on my own, researching, really diving in, vetting them accordingly. And, I found 2, 3, then 7 on my real estate side of my team. And then a few colleagues, friends of mine were like, dude, what are you doing? How are you handling all of your social media, this and that and everything? I said, I got virtual assistants. They're like, what? Tell me about it. So they asked me to help them. From that, turned into a whole business opportunity because I set up my SOPs, my KPIs, all of my processes, my checklist, everything that I need to run, everything that I don't want to do or that I forget to do, follow up, my communication, everything that I do that I don't want my client to let my clients down, I pushed onto my virtual assistants. So I created processes and checklists, but I also vet them. I've had some bad ones that lied to me, that were fraud, that said that they had all this experience, and I literally was training them. And I'm like, this sucks.
Let's stop there for 1 second. So you had told me a story about, because Andy does interview all of these assistants. He was interviewing someone for me, and he was going through, and it's a vigorous process. And he was interviewing somebody for me. And tell me what happened when you and Harry, who helps run your COO, how did you discover that this person was a fraud? I thought it was hysterical, and I can't believe that.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. So so we're interviewing, and it goes, and so we have a global recruiter. There's an account manager, then executive interviews with every VA, so that we put into our clients. So Harry and I do this interview, and all of a sudden, it's like a little pause, and I'm like, maybe his internet connection's bad, this and that. And I see on his glasses, like he's typing and waiting for a response. And I'm like, this is weird. And Harry's like texting me. He's like, hey, did you see he's ChatGPT and the answers to the freaking interview questions? I'm like, what? And I look and go, are you freaking ChatGPT in this? And he goes, I go, you're fired. Click. So
that wasn't the VA that they passed on to Opus Elite, because that would have been fun. So
let's take a couple steps back for someone that knows nothing about virtual assistant. What are they supposed to do? Where are they actual people in other parts of the world doing specific tasks? You tell them, like, what is that? What it is?
So a virtual assistant is pretty much a remote person, live person. They're one of us, human. They can be coming from all over the parts of the world. A lot of times they're from the Philippines, India. Now a lot is becoming bigger in South America, Mexico, for the Spanish speaking as well. So, but our government, the big banks, everybody have been using call centers for probably 20, 30 years, 40 years, right? They would hire, and the call center would be in the Philippines or in India. There would probably be 300 of them sitting side by side, dialing, or customer service or whatever, right? Helping you fix your IKEA piece or whatever, furniture. So a virtual assistant is somebody that specializes in a unique task that will help a business at a lower rate, because in the Philippines, $5 an hour is like middle class. Okay. So you can get a virtual assistant from $3 an hour up to $10 an hour, but really average is $5, $6, $7 an hour.
And then where you differentiate yourself, which makes it unique, is you actually have oversight to control the quality of what's being done.
So we really vet them. It's about the vetting process. There is a big pull, not literal pull, but a big pull of virtual assistants in the Philippines and India and South America, that all the new VAs just kind of go in, they go onto these different sites. Oh, I'm experienced. They pull up a fake portfolio, a fake resume, tell you they're great at this and that and everything. We literally have boots on the ground in the Philippines that vet them, that know their university, if it's a good one or it's fake or it's a local community one. And it matters. We vet them. If we try to get our social media managers that handle all of our social media, even for our clients, from Google or Meta. Google and Meta are the biggest suppliers, our biggest trainers of virtual assistants in the Philippines and India, where they hire them at $1 to $2 an hour. And they train them every which way, from customer service, algorithms, ad placement, everything you can think of. So if they stay there long enough, I try and pull them. Most of my clients, they're going to get a 5+ years experience in real estate, in their field, from call center, from social media, from whatever, mostly from Google or Meta. And that's where a lot of them are coming from, because they don't want to be just tied to them. They're underpaid. They can go and get double their salary, literally, on their own.
So let's talk to me about, now that we're in, because this is a real estate specific show, talk to me about the impact and ROI and why people should be using these things.
So for a normal assistant, admin, loan officer assistant as well, because we supply for lenders as well. So usually you're giving commissions, or you're minimum $15 to $30 to $40 an hour, plus 2 weeks vacation, plus maybe some months, right? And really the cost of a virtual assistant, 40 hours a week, Monday through Friday, working in Eastern Standard Time or Pacific, whatever time you're in, or Thursday to Monday, over the weekends to cover lead gen that's coming in, leads and stuff like that. Their yearly salary is between $10,000 and $12,000 a year. And it's they're a subcontractor. It's called a W-8 BEN, B-E-N. It's a foreign contractor agreement. So it becomes a write-off as well. So that $10,000 to $12,000 a year, which is usually like one commission deal, and it pays for itself, right? So ultimately, the cost and the efficiency, and these people are loving and wanting to help us here in America. They they see so much, like they just bring, their passion is so amazing, and they're so dedicated. The ones that we find, and the ones, because that's a big important factor that a lot of people don't realize, is what is their character? What is their ethics? What is their drive? And some of them, they're over there in the upper middle class or the rich, making $10 to $15 an hour, that they really are very lax, and there's no ambition, there's no drive, which doesn't help us, because they're going to get paid $10, $15 an hour. They're good, they're happy, and that's it. Like here, and that's still good over here, right? I mean, for 40 hours a week for this, but if you can get somebody that has this drive, this passion to help you succeed, and they're $5 an hour, even $7, with 10+ years experience, like, you should see the amount, the ability that they can do. And their English in the Philippines is very good.
Sure.
Some, don't have the practice as much. So we do the disc profiling. We check their resume references. We check their portfolio, that it's not just made up in AI. We check all of that. And we also do an English proficiency to rate their English depending on what their job is. Like somebody that does web development, they don't really need to speak English. They can understand you, and you can tell them, hey, I like this on my website and that and that. But ultimately, somebody that's cold calling for you or lead gen or answering your customers' calls or stuff like that, they need to be a 7 to 10 on a rate of 1 to 10. Okay.
Right. So let's talk about, if we can, let's dig into the process, right? So let's demystify this a little bit. For somebody that calls you up today and says, listen, Andy, I need help. I need help with either boosting my SEO for my website, or I need help just transactionally in real estate, and they have some needs and wants. What do you do? What does the whole process look like? The whole vetting process, finding someone. Give me an idea. We talked briefly about the cost, obviously, but what kind of a commitment is there? And obviously you have to, I mean, this is a business, so you have to make money. We see what they're getting paid. Just where do you come into play? Give us the whole picture. I call you up. Give me the elevator pitch.
Yeah. So what we do is we get on a discovery call with you, Google Meet or Zoom, talk about where you need us. Okay. What are you looking for? What is the nitty gritty that you just don't have time for, or that's keeping you up at night? Like a lot of home services now, like contractors, roofers, they're putting their estimates out at midnight. And so we've been doing a lot with them now lately to help with QuickBooks Online, to help with their estimates, to get those proposals out as drafts. Like all of that stuff, all that nitty gritty stuff that we just don't like doing, even drafting contracts. I hate that. They'll draft it for me, and then I review, I add their signatures, and I send it on. So stuff like that kind of helps streamline, saves us time and energy.
Okay.
So going through a discovery call from there, sorry, stay on track. I know. We find out what their needs are. We put a pack. So we have 2 packages. One is us managing the VA for you, and it's a higher hourly rate, $15 to $18 an hour, month up front. There's no long-term commitment. It's a 30-day written notice. You're out, at any time, but it's month ahead is always paid up front. So that we can guarantee that VA a job for at least 30 days. Okay. Or the other plan is a recruitment fee. That is a one-time fee. You're not paying anything else. It's a 60-day guarantee on both packages, so that if this VA doesn't work for some reason, and we usually know within 2 to 3 weeks, we replace them for free. So there's no other additional costs.
And what does that cost? So if I wanted to hire you, which I did, but if you want to share with everyone what you would charge for to place a VA, and I can tell you
place a VA for you guys, and what we do is we'll put up 2 to 3, up to 5 on an interview process for you to interview, to negotiate their rate for you. You do all of that, but we'll set up these interviews. And we vet them all. It's our retail is $29.99, so $3,000.
Okay.
One time, and that's it. We do run promos all the time, as low as $14.99. There's this month is Valentine's, so we're doing a $19.99 special. So depending on the year, Black Friday is probably one of our best times. Triple play for realtors, we were giving a great discount, stuff like that. So it all depends on the year.
And that's the approach. That's where I went, just so you know, Chad. That's the route that I went. So we did, I paid the one-time fee. He put me in front of 4 VAs. And I got to be honest with you, the first one was an amazing fit. And we needed, we're actually using it for 2 different things. So we ended up finding our 2 VAs within about a week and a half time. He did his research. He got them over to us. And, we started working. The whole negotiation process, as he was saying, I don't even want to call it that. They were so happy to be on the phone with me. And it was just like, they wanted to work with us. It wasn't like listen, we negotiate for a living. They weren't negotiating. They said, what can you afford? We came up with a reasonable number. I mean, how can you not, based on what they're asking? And we worked on a trial basis. After that, we'll revisit it and we'll base it off of their production, and we can decide, how to grow from there. But it was very easy, and he made it a seamless process. He followed up with us to make sure that they were doing the right thing. He found a VA that suited our needs for exactly what we were using them for. So it really is it's a streamlined process. He does a great job. So,
and how much do you attribute, Andy, to where you're at now and your success in real estate? And obviously this is biased because of the business you're in, but how much do you attribute discovering virtual assistants and then utilizing them effectively in your ability to grow?
I mean, it's life-changing because honestly, the amount of stuff that I can get done and build out as an entrepreneur, I'm I'm creating it. I just created a whole new real estate app, which is another whole conversation for a big competitor for Zillow. So I'm ready. We're launching that. I couldn't have done what I'm doing as an entrepreneur to do all these other things that are creating other revenues and other things like that will help people. My goal is always in life is to really help others succeed. When others succeed, I succeed. And that's really the mentality is what we have is we want to give value, show value at every step of the way, from showing homes, selling homes, from sellers, buyers, clients here. We want to help people grow, level up in their business, level up in life. And that's who we are to our core. That's who I am. So I'm always giving, value. That's my goal. So,
and I will say that
this is
owner looking in. So sorry to interrupt, but as a business owner looking in, Andy leads a big team at our office. Let's call it what it is,
Right.
and his VAs do help, help the process through the transaction coordination and whatnot. The efficiency of his team is like everything's spot on. Docs are in when they need to be. Like we never have to worry about that. So as an outsider looking in, I see it, and as as someone that now bought into the company, meaning I have VAs in place, I see the value. I really do, and it's cheap, dude. It's really inexpensive.
Yeah. Well, and I gotta say that's the most difficult thing sometimes is people don't realize the value in spending the money to free themselves up to either do more of what they love to do or to do more of what they're good at doing, right?
Yeah.
Especially in our business. Who wants to get bogged down with the bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Like your best use of time is to be selling. And everything else in between, if these guys can do it, it's worth the money.
Yeah, absolutely. And it frees me up too, also to spend time with my family. I have almost a 4-year-old son and a 2-year-old daughter. I wouldn't be able to do any of this and still
Enzo.
see my kids.
Enzo's a cute little thing. Enzo's cute, man.
Enzo and Georgina. So
nice Irish. So
yeah,
so how, if somebody wanted to get in contact with you, what do they need to do? What's your website? Let's hear your contact information. And are they able to just kind of call you and talk through this, or is it going to be like a hard sell?
Of course.
No, it wasn't for me, but can they just chat with you about this if they want more information to see if it is a good
fit? Yeah. My cell is everywhere. You Google my name, everywhere. Google my business to everything. It's 215-778-4501. That's my direct cell. That's not a VA answering it. It's me. Okay. I do have other cells that they answer for businesses, but our website is beyondbizva.com, and you'll see promos on there. You'll see everything. That's the best way. Our Calendly link to set up a discovery call. Check out our social media. We're everywhere. YouTube, we have tons of value. Look at our YouTube channel. Beyond Business Virtual Assistants. There's just tons of value, how to use a virtual assistant, certain tips and tricks and stuff like that to really hone in on how to utilize something. And it sounds so overwhelming to hire somebody from overseas that you never see, but you're always on a Google Meet or a call or a Google chat or texting with them, WhatsApping them. It's so easy and it's so worth it. Like, everybody should have a VA, if not one, 2, 3, or 4. Like literally for personal life. We have a client that all she does, she's a single mom. All she does is use her VA to order like DoorDash to do her to get all of her.
Wait.
That's the ultimate level of laziness right there.
DoorDash isn't simple enough. She uses the VA to then order DoorDash.
Hysterical.
Yes,
that's hysterical.
Yeah, wow.
And
that is
to order her dry cleaning coming in and going. She has all her doctor's appointments, the VA schedules, organizes her calendar, follows up on all her emails, all of this stuff, kids' schedules, soccer, football, this, that. Like that's all she uses them for 20 hours a week minimum. But some weeks, busier season, she's doing full time.
So if I understand this correctly,
people use a VA.
If I'm to summarize this for your single ladies out there, right? You really don't need the man.
You could date a VA. Listen, at $4 an hour, I'll date a VA. It's cheap date. You know what? My wife's turning 50 next week. You know what that's going to cost me? A VA at $4 an hour. Get me another ring, baby. Let's do it. Yeah,
that's going to cost like 10 VAs. You could have had a full football, a VA
army. So Anyway, listen,
we're gonna do a follow up. I want to hear how your
yeah.
VA goes, Mark.
Yeah.
Andy, you're the man, dude. Thank you so much for coming on the show. For anyone watching this, if you're in the real estate game and want to understand how to scale yourself up, a virtual assistant sounds like a must to me.
Yeah.
BeyondBizVA.com. Give Andy a call. Everyone, thanks for watching another edition of Talkin Real Estate. Follow us on YouTube at Talkin Real Estate. We will see you again soon. Andy, thank you, brother.
Thanks, bro.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks so much. See ya.
Peace.